Hello, we're going to look at percentages and how they link together, what was meant to happen, and how you find the relationships. There's two different methods here that I'm going to mention, and I would do both in each case if I was teaching this. First of all, I would like children to sort of consider an amount, or the original amount, as being the 100%. Once they know this, they can use their general knowledge of maths, which isn't hard, to work out other percentages. So you use the relationships that you know. So if you know 100%, and that's 600, you can work out by halving that 300 is 50%. And if you half again, you get 25%, which is 150, and you can half that again to get 12.5%, which is 75. Okay, that's quite straightforward. Children can do that. If they're able to divide by 10, or they know that 600 divided by 10 is 60, they can find out 10%. They can get 10% through dividing by 10. Again, if they can get 10%, they can find 5% by halving the 10% and 2.5% by halving 5%. Okay? On the other side, if they can divide by 100, they can find 1%. And through knowing this, they can now calculate whatever percentages they wish to calculate. So to find 17%, one way of doing it is to collect 10%, 5%, so you've got 15, and then the 2.5%. So it's 60, add 30, add 15, which is 105. So 17.5% of 600 is 105. Okay? The other one is 45%, and it doesn't matter how they do it, it's them finding their own way. And here you could collect 50%, which is 300, and then take away 30, because you're taking away 5%, so it would end up 270. So 45% of 600 is 270. Or they could choose to take 4 lots of 10%, so they've got 40%. So 4 lots of 60 would be 240, and then add on a 5% to get to 270. It doesn't matter, it's their choice. But once they've got this mind map here, or clouding the picture, whatever you want to call it, they can use all of this to calculate any percentage they wish. Okay. The other way you can connect percentages is with decimals and fractions. And here a child will know or understand that this is one whole, and one whole is 100%, because if we've got a whole amount, we have 100%. We've got one amount of that. Okay. Here we have 10%. If you count each one, you realise there's 10% going along. And this is also seen as 0.1. 0.1 is the same as 10%. That might be more tricky, but if you actually have a look at the bar there, 10 of these bars will fit into 100%. Okay, and this is 1/10. Okay. You can do this, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so it relates back to place value that 10 of these makes a whole. Okay, so 10 lots of 10% will make one whole, 100%. And then they start to get the relationship that a tenth is the same as 10%, which is the same as 0.1. Okay. Here we've got 30%. Okay, you can see we've got 30%, and this is the same as having 3 tenths, 0.3. 1, 2, 3 of the tenths will fit in. Okay, it's just getting those connections. Here we have 1%, and 1% is the same as 100. Now, of course, because we've got out of 100 here, and the 100 makes the whole. Okay, so that's what that is. We have no tenth whatsoever here. None of those bars coming across. We have 1 out of 100. Here we now have 5 hundredths, 5%, and it's still within this column here because it's 5 hundredths, 5 out of 100. On this one, we have 34%, which is the same as 0.34. 0.34. Now we have 3 tenths, which you can see here, 1, 2, 3, and we have 4 hundredths. So we have 34 out of 100, and we write it as 0.03, which is the same as 35%. Okay. The other way I got children to help or get an understanding of this was to make all the connections. So I chopped up loads of different images of this type of thing in terms of using, I forgot what you call these, like an abacus, and in terms of using images into what we've used on the board now, writing it over 100 or even over just over tens, because these are both the same here. I did use a number line, or I thought about using a number line, I just haven't used it particularly well, but as many different images which relate to the same thing. Okay, and then they glue them together, but amazingly that gives them a much more concrete understanding. They're looking for those relationships, and it does help. Okay, and that's it really. That's it. We don't go as far as that. Okay, thank you.